if it's going to end, how will it affect your communities?
The change, it will certainly affect, currently we hear in the newspaper that chain migration will be ended and there will be merit-based system. I myself came on a merit-based system, and I had my engineering degree way back from India when I came over here. Then I again went to San Jose State University to have my master's degree. And I think there are both pros and cons of this system. We also love our children and love our parents. So if the chain system is ended, then we will have lot of our feeling will be hurt because we will not be able to see our parents. When we are here, we can't call them over here. So merit-based system has its own advantages, and people are rewarded with their education, and they when they come over here, they have better chance of advancement.
Thank you, now, Mari, U.S. has traditionally been a very compassionate country, but at what point do we ask ourselves that how is it affecting our country and the intake of asylum applicants? At what point do we stop, or do we stop?
That's a really hard question that I don't pretend to know the answer to. I do believe in the value of the freedoms that we have here, and the importance of sharing that value to the world. And one way we do that is to invite them to come. And I think that we should be very careful to not restrict too many people. I think there should be sensible, and we should. I don't think we should open our borders, to everyone who wants to come for no reason at all, because I think that could be dangerous and overwhelm the governments that are here to support the citizens. So I think that it's a difficult question to know where to draw the line, where to say we can and we cannot, right? I don't know what the answer is necessarily, but I think we should show the value we have to the freedoms we have by sharing them as much as we can.
Thank you, Maria. What does Santa Clara County do for the immigrant population?
Santa Clara County, ever since the new administration, has definitely done quite a bit and continues to do. From areas of really establishing the Office of Immigrant Relations, we are really here to create resources and provide information and education, both to community members as well as community-based organizations, any really group that works with the community in general, the immigrant community. The other part of it too is the county funding a number of community-based organizations to actually provide legal services, direct legal services to the immigrant community. And that is one of the pieces that right now is the most needed. A lot of people really don't know whether or not they can change their immigration status, whether or not they can go from undocumented to becoming legalized in this country. So really having access to attorneys is one of the areas where the county is investing the most. So there is a large number of organizations that do that, that free to low cost. But the other piece of it too is just recently, earlier this year, the county really did this community campaign in which the county wants to let the community know that we are here as one county, one future, regardless of where you're from, how long you've been here, what your socioeconomic status is. We're continuing to sort of do that and know that you can come to county departments and get county services, and we're not really going to question or ask whether or not you're here legally. So we really want to make sure that we communicate that to everyone in the community. And we will sort of begin to do more direct sort of outreach and education from the media. And because we do want to continue to share that message from the county's perspective.
Thank you. Reverend Moore, in your opinion, if birthright citizenship is ended tomorrow, what do you think will happen to the anchor babies who've been in this country for a long time?
What do you think? I hope nothing.
If birthright citizenship.
If it happens, I would hope the American people will stand up to this to stop it from happening. It's part of, as I say, the Constitution of the United States says our inalienable rights, God-given rights, our natural rights for being here. That was the measure of citizenship to be born in this country from the beginning of the Constitution. Why would it be subject to change now? What is the problem with it now? I think that us as American citizens, or this county, start with this county first. This county ought to pass a resolution. They're denouncing it. Each state should denounce it. We have to stand up. This is just outright hatred and fear. We cannot operate or live in the status of fear. Immigration and immigrants who have helped make this country what this country is. If we're going to take away that from people who we say that are sometimes criminal, and oftentimes not. We treat sometimes as though they don't pay taxes, and often they do. We teach as though that there's some type of criminal element. We try to label them to make them something we can hate, or something we can take away from them. So because we have anger, we want to take something away because of labels. We have to get out of the business of labeling people and start looking to what we say God-given rights are in humanity. Pursuit of happiness. And as long as they're living by the state's laws, the country's laws, they should be treated with such dignity and respect across the board, regardless of where a person is from. And if a person is born here, given the rights. More than likely, their ancestors, or they probably have fought for this country, with this country, and have served in our military. And unless they're a criminal element, unless they're actually doing something that's actually a criminal act, it's the only time we should have to actually go against people who are here. Because this country, if we really acknowledge our history, we're built with immigrant hands and labor. And we should respect that and admire it. I think that first off, I'd have to start in my own house, start here, and I'd like to tell anybody that might have that status, I would be the first one to stand in line to help fight against it. As I told my Muslim brothers and sisters, if it comes to it, I already have an African surname that can give a Mitiango, so I'll just have to find a Muslim name to go with it. I'll put my name on there. We'll just confuse and baffle the government of who we are to come find us. So they'll always have a refuge with me in my home, or finances that I can to help support and keep them protected from the criminal element, which tends to be our government right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. Police Chief. If ICE comes to my door, can I count on the Milpitas police to help me?
So yes, but there's a but there. So to help me, and that isn't really clear as to what that means, but I can offer some comments with that. So no different than your local state law enforcement. We're bound by complying with the regulations of law. We work within the scope of that. That includes search and seizure, that includes arrests. And so if ICE comes to the door and is knocking on the door, residents have a right to not answer the door. And really that segues into anyone, whether you're immigrant or not, know your rights. Maria's group, Zara's group may be the best to answer those questions. My concern about knowing your rights, if somebody goes on Google and searches that, is they don't know the source of that information. So it would be good to go to a reliable source to be informed of what your rights are. If there is another law enforcement agency at the door, residents can call the Milpitas Police Department to verify that those are legitimate law enforcement people at the door. We'll answer the questions to the best of our ability. If we're not able to answer the questions or we're uncertain, it could be a crime that's going to be committed, we will respond to that. So yes, people can always call us for help, whether it's for this issue or another.
Thank you. Zara, what has your organization done for Muslim Americans to integrate in USC? They seem to have done a better job than Muslims in Europe. What have you done differently than in Europe?
Sure. I actually wanted to address a couple of things that were said prior. The first is because verbiage is so important in the way we have these conversations, and so the words migrant caravan have been used a couple of times on this panel, and that's actually not accurately describing what's happening. Those are asylum seekers, right? And they are fleeing South and Central America because of the way U.S. foreign policy has pillaged their countries, forcing them to leave. The other clarification was chain migration. So chain migration is actually family reunification. And so for a majority of us that are immigrants for second and third generation, yes, maybe the first person came via merit or diversity, but they reunited their families. And what's really frightening about us using the Trump administration's language is that we're also erasing the fact that his family came through family reunification. And then the last one is anchor babies. So Reverend Jeff referenced this. The 14th Amendment is what gives us the right, gives people citizenship once they are born here. And that amendment was put into place because Black people who were slaves were denied citizenship by the Supreme Court. And so during the process of reconstructing the racist foundation that this country was built on, or recovering from that, those people were granted rights for being born here. And the Supreme Court has said that the 14th Amendment gives people the right to be citizens if they are born here. And so what we're talking about now with this administration targeting anchor babies is actually this administration attempting to shred the Constitution. So on integration, the difference between the United States and Europe, as problematic as the United States has been, and it's not been compassionate towards immigrants unless we're talking about the white settler, like colonialists that were coming here in the beginning. Everyone else has had a really hard time, whether they were forced here or came here by choice, is that we are still far more diverse than Europe, right? And so as a broader society, we have built a more diverse community, and we've tried really hard not to have immigrants land in immigrant-centered ghettos, which is something that we've seen in Europe, where immigrants are held back because they're forced to live in certain places, they're not given job opportunities. Here, I would say that we have a really robust civic society that attempts to uplift and welcome immigrants. And so our work at CARE, specifically around integration, I would say is not focused on dress a certain way or celebrate a certain holiday, or even around, hey, like you need to be a certain way to be American. Rather, these are the rights that you have as Americans. You have a right to vote. You have a right to participate. You have a right to call the police when ICE shows up at your door. You have a right to say no to the FBI when they show up at your door. You have a right to run for school board. And so for us, integration really comes from asserting our rights and saying, I'm here to stay, as my friends at United We Dream will say, I'm here to fight, right? I'm here to fight for the America that we want to build, and I think that that's where we get the most integration, is by helping people see that they have power and that they can take control of their lives.
Thank you.